How's it going, everybody? I was actually gonna try the whole YouTube live, but I don't have the requirements yet to meet that YouTube live. I believe you have to have a certain amount of followers. On this topic, I wanted to kind of dive in to the idea of financial literacy when it comes to photography or even video. Financial literacy kind of ties into general finance, but I kind of want to talk about it in regards to photography. What is it? In my perspective, financial literacy is being smart about your money, being smart on how you approach photography and video and how you want to use your money. And that way you don't go in debt and you utilize the tools that are available for you to maximize it. Really, financial literacy applies to everybody unless you're filthy rich and you can afford any type of gear out there and you can just buy anything you want. But for majority of us, I myself came up from just a basic student coming up from photography. I didn't really have much gear, so I just ended up investing little by little. So really, this video may be applying to the people that are trying to see if going direction of taking photos or video could be something for you. But you have to take account things that you need to know as far as what you need to buy, and if you really need it, will that put you more in debt? Because a lot of people do invest in gear, and oftentimes they don't get enough work to justify the camera gear or the equipment. And so I kind of want to talk about that a little bit more. Um, how it will apply to you. Basically, like I said, if you are starting in this industry and you're thinking about maybe buying a camera or buying a lens here and there, and you only have a certain amount of money. So what do you invest that money in? What do you plan to buy with that money? Do you plan to use that money and borrow more money and buy more expensive gear that's hot and the newest gear? I personally would not take that route. If I was to have some money, first, I would save that money first. If I really, really, really think that this tool can make money for me, I will go get it. But if you're not sure, I would just wait until an opportunity comes and then make that purchase. The way you want to approach this is if you are someone with no type of budget coming into buying equipment, you want to make sure at least you save that money. If you're working, put some money aside, but make sure you have some money for your savings, for your food, for your rent, for your basic needs in life. And in between, put in some money for investing gear, maybe about 10-20% of your paycheck or whatever. Put that into that. And eventually you'll have enough money to purchase a gear. Once you have that, you should be able to up the level of your skills a little bit more. Now, while you're working and while you're saving money, there is things that you can do in between. You can start learning. You can start taking courses in college if you wanted to, some classes on photography or video. There's also a lot of free information out there online. If you have the time, educate yourself. And knowledge is key to any type of growth. And so if you take that time while you're saving money, you're going to up the game in your photo and your video. So that way, when you have all the things lined up from your tools to your knowledge, you are ready to present yourself to a client that's willing to pay you for the knowledge and experience that you have. There's ways to really learn, how to shoot this, how to do that, and what should I do to market myself. These are things that you have to start thinking about while you're developing your skills. So it's a one-man band at the beginning, but the more you progress, the more you build up your clientele, the higher the quality of your content, the more you'll build up the people to assist you. But in the beginning, unfortunately, it's a one-man band and you're on your own learning from the ins and outs. You pretty much handle everything, from the knowledge to the expenses to the networking to everything else tied into this whole business. But once you've mastered these different little pieces, you should be able to progress into something even more. And in between, while you're also waiting to save that money, go out and practice. Go out and shoot as much content as you can. If you're at home, practice still life, practice lifestyle photography, practice product shoots, learn how to light better, learn how to compose better, learn how to style products better, learn how to position people better. This will allow you to build up not only your skill set, but your confidence into tackling the product or the services that you're trying to achieve. Now, if I came across a situation where I have a potential purchase and I have some money. So when it comes to a situation where, okay, for instance, you have $1,000 or something like that, what would you plan to invest that money on? Well, research what could be most effective to you. If you feel like you can get more jobs shooting weddings, or if you feel like you can get jobs shooting for local businesses, you feel like you can get jobs shooting for content, look into that. What would benefit most out of those business? Remember, you're providing a solution for a problem. So if you investigate that, you should be able to figure out what's most important for your service or product. So if I had $1,000 for an example, and I wanted to buy something with $1,000, I would break it down. I would buy a used DSLR body, which could range about, I don't know, $100 to $200 for a good 20 megapixels and up. And I'm talking about like maybe 10-year-old cameras. So on top of that, I would probably buy a cool lens, something that's versatile, and then support it with some ancillary tools like tripods, or any type of movement stuff like that. If you even have a budget in there for a cell phone. It doesn't have to be brand new. It could be used as long as you have something to post for your marketing tactics like social media. If the budget calls for it even further, under $1,000, I would invest in even a used laptop. Laptop will allow you not only to edit your picture, video possibly might get complicating depending on the resolution, but if you're just doing basic online stuff, you can get away with lower end resolution. So I would invest in maybe a used laptop, and you can start editing pictures on the laptop, and you can start blogging, doing social media and stuff like that, so people can track your progress, because you are the story of your brand. You have a beginning and a middle and an end, and the more you share information, the more you will attract customers and more attract viewers into your work. And under $1,000, if you are able to achieve all of that, start practicing. Get out there and don't let that gear sit. If you are not learning, you are not growing. So that is the key into, if you have a little bit of money, invest in used gear. You don't have to buy new gear unless you have the money. Invest in used gear and work up your gear from there on. I personally am a working professional photographer, videographer, filmmaker, producer, multiple titles. I don't have any debt as far as my gear. I don't go and purchase very expensive cinema cameras. When I need them for a job, just have the client pay to rent it. So I just buy used cameras that are sufficient for what I do. I bought a Sony A7R3 that has a high megapixel, good enough to take still shots for clients that need high resolution cameras. And I still use my old 10, 12-year-old DSLR Canon 5D Mark II on smaller jobs. Believe it or not, it still works. Granted, there's some dead pixels in some of those areas, but people don't know. But it still does work for me. So I have valued so much of all these used gear. Not only did I just pay cheaper price, it also made me more money in the end, and I am not in debt. And my only overhead probably be storage space. I do have a storage full of gear, and that is probably just my own expense. Other than that, I don't have anything as far as studio space, insurance that I have to deal with, or except for renter's insurance for my place. But yeah, no big overhead. I get to work remotely at times. I get to work in spaces where I don't have to be at home or in my office. By the way, this is my own office here with some of my gear, my editing bay. But the bottom line is, don't go in debt if you don't have the money to invest in gear. So don't go in debt. Have more money in your pocket. It'll save you the headache of paying bills every month, knowing the fact that you owe money to this gear that's not even making money for you. Now, unless you make it and you have that break and you're able to get a big time job and that pays you, uh but hope that you can get more jobs after that, because it is a competitive world. It is a world where you constantly have to find gigs, and if you are not producing work after work after work, uh you're gonna get left out and you're gonna owe more money. So that way, you don't want to do that to yourself. You want to live comfortably. You don't want to live like you're always in debt and paying that interest rate through credit cards because you bought this expensive gear. Don't do that. Enjoy your life. Enjoy what you're doing in life. If you're capable of balancing work and life, that's what you got to do. I hope you find this video useful on financial literacy in regards to photos and video. If you liked content, feel free to click like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. I will see you on the next video. Peace.